the Ross vlog. Driving and vlogging. Have you ever tried to manifest anything? Or do you even know what that means? Lately, in my YouTube feed, a lot of videos have been showing up about the power of manifestation and tricks and techniques and ways to win the lottery and all sorts of amazing things. And these videos are getting a lot of views. And I can see why. People want more. And they seem pretty credible. I personally have experienced manifestation. I know how it works. I get it. And as much as I know that it's real and it's true, there's one key part of it that makes it work. You have to have a real clear vision of what it is that you want. What do you desire? Do you even know what you really desire? I'm pretty happy. My life is really good. So this is where the manifestation part gets a little tricky, because seems like I'm just continuing to get more of the same, because I'm good. And if I'm really honest with myself, I would like more. And when I mean more, it's basically more money to afford, like the dream life. Like, if you could have anything and money's no object, what would you do? What would you change? As far as manifesting goes, you really need to just kind of visualize that and feel it. Feel it in your heart. Feel some emotion with it. You gotta really have a good, clear imagination. And once you identify something very specific, and you nailed it, you go, that's what I want, that's what I can see, I can see that in my future. I'm going to be so happy, I'm going to feel so good. Thinking about this feels really good. That's the trick. Yeah, I manifested before. One of the simplest things that I did, this was at a time when I was really struggling. I mean, I was basically, I've told this story to some people, I was living off of potatoes. Really, I was cooking potatoes and eggs in a lot of different ways, and I was trying to stay healthy, trying to keep my food budget down to, the bare minimum, because that's really all I had. And I was doing, I was selling cabinets, I was doing kitchen designs, I was just kind of barely scraping by from one job to another, just to make ends meet, just to be able to have a little roof over my head and to be able to take care of myself, be self-sufficient. And I saw a YouTube video about, wasn't actually, let me back up a second, I heard on Coast to Coast AM about the power of manifesting and just writing something down, like something as simple as, and this is what I wrote down, it was, thank you for the unexpected money. And I took that piece of paper and I hung it over my window that I worked in front of, and I swear within just a couple of weeks I really should have kept better record of the timing on this. But I really received unexpected money. It was over $1,000. And it was so strange because I went to the post office and I'm just going through the junk mail. And I was just going to tear the names off it, take my address and name off the envelopes and just shred these things. And one of these, I looked a little closer at it, and it said that I had money in an account. And I thought it was fake. I thought it was just some scam, to call and check on it. But I took a chance. I called the number, and it turns out from a job that I had a few years prior, evidently I had some money that had gone into a, like a 401k or a little investment plan, and it was just sitting there. And all I had to do was call them and turn in the paperwork, and I could roll it over, or I could, put it into a new account. But I really needed the money, and it was totally unexpected. Within another week or so, I had like $1,100 something unexpected money. Never had anything like that happen before. And I remember when I did it, I wrote that intention down, stuck it on the wall, looked at it every day, felt gratitude towards it, and I received that money. It's a true story, not gonna lie. About the same time, when I was really broke, I needed to get to Hawaii. I really wanted to go to Hawaii. I really wanted to take my daughter Brooklyn to Hawaii with me. At the time, she was probably about 8 years old. And so while I would be just working, doing my kitchen designs and such, I would have like YouTube videos going on of, places in Hawaii I wanted to go to, or hotels I wanted to stay at. But in particular, I would watch in-flight videos, Hawaiian Airlines in-flight videos, showing, it's like the flight experience. Somebody had taken the time to film what it looked like, going to the airport, boarding the plane, sitting down, looking at the surroundings, and the whole flight experience, little views out of the window, the takeoff, the landing. And I'd watch those videos, and I hadn't flown anywhere in a long time. And I just remembered feeling how happy I would be with Brooklyn sitting next to me on that plane as we're traveling to Hawaii together. And it just made me feel so good inside. I kept those videos. I must have watched those things for weeks. And I just loved the feeling that I got, imagining taking my daughter to Hawaii with me and showing her around, and so she could experience things I did in my childhood. Well, I was able to sell a couple of jobs really quick, put together a trip. I didn't even have any credit cards. I don't know how I did this. And also, in order to be able to get the flight that I could afford, there was like only certain days that I could go and return, but it only left me 2 nights over there. But so I booked the flight, and I called Hawaiian Airlines. I wanted to stay an extra night because my oldest daughter was going to be there as well, and we were going to stay with her for a night and extend our trip a little bit. So when I called Hawaiian Airlines, and I tried to change the date, and they were telling me all these different fees, and that flight cost more, and it was almost doubling the cost of the whole trip. So the lady's like looking into it, and I'm like, oh gosh, I can't do it, just leave it. Well, days later I checked my flight status, and it had changed. My booking had changed, where I was going to be there for now 3 nights on the flight that I wanted to be on, and the cost didn't change. I thought that there was some sort of a problem or some sort of a glitch. I didn't want to call myself and expose what had happened, but just like through magic, I got my new flight, and I went to Hawaii. And I think this whole trip, like for 3 nights in Maui, with accommodations, stayed with my daughter one night at her hotel. I think I spent only maybe $1,100 for the flight and hotel for 2, and I just had that amount of money. And I just feel like I manifested that, because at the time before that, I couldn't imagine. I mean, here I am, broke, barely have money for gas, barely have money for rent, and somehow I was able to put together a vacation without any credit cards. I don't even know how the hotel took my reservation without a credit card, but we did that trip. And that, that just showed me the power of manifesting. So if you really want to manifest something in your life, you have to have a clear vision of what you want. And I mean crystal clear. I mean, you got to, when you think of what it is, where you're going to be, you need to feel it in your heart. You need to feel that joy. You need the happiness. I mean, it's got to be that clear to you. And when you're doing this, understand that time doesn't really exist. The concept of time it doesn't exist. Really, all we have is now. And so when you're putting yourself into that place, when you're imagining that place, the feelings that you're experiencing are now. That doesn't matter. It's just like, I call them future memories. I don't know if anybody's ever used that term before. Hey, that's how I see things. This is how I see life. Is that you have your past memories, and you have your future memories. And when you think about your past memories, you have the ability to go through photos, of course, and that always makes it easy for you to feel that way and remember what it was like in the past. But if you can do the same thing with your imagination and create that clear picture of your future as though it's a future memory, as though it's already happened, that's the key to manifesting. So go out and try it.